I sat my daughter down and we were looking at getting some rental properties. Like, you know what, we need to make sure that we have a good credit score and that you can maintain it. The first thing we did is we had to see what the score was. And there's a lot of ways to do that. One avenue that we've used is a website called Credit Karma, which is owned by Intuit. Intuit does QuickBooks and TurboTax, so they are a trusted company. But so we had signed up for the free account, and it gave her a credit history, and it gave her credit score. And when I looked at it, I'm like, your score is higher than mine.
Interesting.
Which another interesting thing, my wife's is higher. My wife's. I wasn't plural.
Wow.
I mean, it was possessive.
Yeah.
My wife's score is higher than mine as well.
Okay.
Which, to me, I think that's an example of how inaccurate these scores are. I mean, neither one of them make much money, but they do have a good credit score. And I was curious why her credit score was so high. I figured it'd be pretty low because she didn't have much experience, but I was incorrect. What we did is we looked at on what made up her credit score, and the first thing I saw was that she had student loans. And maybe we talk a little bit more, but I just mentioned I know I have policies for my kids. We still got student loans, and for a couple of reasons. For one, I wanted them to be on the hook, that if they didn't complete the school, we weren't going to use a policy loan. So I wanted them to have some skin in the game, but also access to capital is never bad. But I didn't even think that the benefit it would have on her credit score. But what made the biggest impact is that we looked at her credit history, and it said in there that she had credit history from a credit card going back 13 years. Okay, she was 21, 22 at the time, right? So what this means is she had established credit when she was 8 years old. Now, she is a high achiever and a go-getter, but at 8 years old,
she's a forward thinker.
It was more maybe American Doll girls, or I don't know, maybe she was past that at that point. But what we had done unbeknownstly is when we added her as an authorized user on one of our credit cards, we did it so she would have the card. If emergencies came up or something happened, she would be able to pay for it. We didn't take into account that would affect her credit. So that's when I bet there's a lot of, I quickly learned a lot of information about her credit score. So we thought we would compile that and a couple of other attributes to kind of help you be able to make sure that your kids' credit scores are going to be high and well maintained. But really, the important thing is, Cameron, why do you think having a good credit score is important?
Great question, Anthony. It's very important, right? I think that in this day and age, it's really difficult to go out there and not be playing the game that they are trying to have you play by establishing credit and then being the potential for borrowing money. I am going to bring up kind of the infinite banking point of view, maybe at the end of this.
You want to see the entire episode? Click here. If you want to learn how investors use infinite banking to increase their returns and lower their taxes, click here. If you want to see if infinite banking is for you and you have some questions, hop on a discovery call with us and one of our coaches. The link for that will be in the description.